Hello, I am Laurie Duncan, and this is a Rude Group podcast about asbestos surveyors. Now, I know there's plenty of you sitting there thinking, LD, why in the flippers are you talking about asbestos surveyors, man? I don't have any asbestos, don't want any asbestos, and I don't want to get involved in anything that might have asbestos because then it'll be scary. And I was talking about this recently, actually, in a different podcast, about the architects and how I remember when it used to be scary. And it was the same with the asbestos survey stuff. And the asbestos survey stuff, basically there's a management survey, and then there's a refurbishment and demolition survey. And basically, you know, before you knock a building down or convert it or start ripping stuff out or whatever, you need the R&D survey, right? But again, simplistically, the management survey is maybe 1,500 quid, and then the R&D survey, obviously depending on the amount of work required, because they do actually do removal and stuff as part of that survey, if it needs it, that anything between 5 and 10 grand, generally speaking. If you're doing a big monster building, then you know you're probably going to be much more than that. That's based on probably about, I can't remember the sizes now, but maybe about 600-700 square meters of development space, something like that, on a building. So point is, it's like, just don't get freaked out by these asbestos. Like, if there's asbestos there's ways of dealing with it, right? You literally just put a couple of inquiries out. The guys come in, they do all the work, you just pay them like the architect. No need for it to be scary. These guys deal with everything on your behalf. So just because it's an unknown doesn't mean that you shouldn't take on projects that require that scope of work. It's a specialism. I mean, nobody's expecting you to know about that type of stuff, right? But I guess it's really important to be very aware that you do need, certainly on commercial conversion projects, you need to have that checked, and you need to have the report in place before anybody starts doing any work on the building. All right. So, firstly, it's the management survey to, for you to analyse, see what you need to do to basically deal with the existing asbestos without any removal, and then you've got the refurbishment and demolition report and removal. Which deals with actually removing the asbestos from the building. And then, once you've got that report, the guys can get on site and start. Now, there's various other things that are required before any developments can be done, and you should be thinking about speaking to a principal designer to organise your PCI, pre-construction information, and your health and safety notice forms, all this type of stuff. There's a lot of different stuff involved in developments. Some of you might just be at the buy-to-let stage or doing a wee resi flip here and there, so you might not have even thought about that yet. But I think it's good to make you aware of these types of things, because you should consider it. In my opinion, you should consider getting involved in larger projects, more complex projects, and projects that produce larger lump sums of cash. Development projects take a bit longer, very different for buy-to-let. Buy-to-let, month after month, just churns out cash. Developments take a couple of years or whatever, obviously depending on the size and the complexity. But once the developments are sold, it's these large lump sum cash profits that are generated, right? So be aware of that. Up to you how much you want to push yourself. But don't be put off by the asbestos surveyors. Lovely guys. Very helpful, I find. So, if you've never done it, check it out. And if you're needing any assistance with that, drop us an email. Drop us an email to asbestos@rudegroup.co.uk. There you go. Sometimes I just make up email addresses on the spot, but that will arrive into our office, right? So, if you want any assistance, got any questions on it, anything like that, drop us an email, and we would be happy to help. So, subscribe if you have not subscribed. Thank you for listening, and I cannot wait to catch up with you again soon. Cheers.